Geeks, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostgeeks. Playing with us tonight, we have our usual lineup of Chase as Haskell, Emily as Quill, aka Tranquility. We have Ian playing Mooneye, and Matt playing the lovable stew drinker.
Yeah.
I feel like we need a little anime, like, you got your guys' character faces all epic and stuff as these names flying over.
I am anime enough as is. Look at me.
Yeah, clearly. Welcome to another episode. Thanks for joining us tonight. Before we dive in, some quick call outs as usual. We are using the system and setting of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition by Wizards of the Coast. And we're playing through their module, Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. This is unsponsored, but enthusiastic fan content. And you can find a lot of the tokens and maps and things that we are using from the Rime of the Frostmaiden bundle over on Roll20. So go check it out. And then there's the usual chat interactions today if you'd like to help the heroes or myself with some hero points or villain points. You can do so. You can affirmate people by giving them a bonus. You can gift useful items, or maybe not necessarily useful, but fun, weird items, other stuff, give blessings, all of that kind of fun things. So type !engage in the chat if you want to see all of our options. All right. Last time on Rime of the Frostgeeks, the group broke into Denev's Rest and soon discovered it was not as abandoned as it seemed. Our heroes took down a group of Dwergar hiding out inside and harvested their heads as alchemical ingredients per Quill's recommendation. Then they discovered a hole in the floor, which led to a large underground cavern where even more Dwergar as well as an undead ogre were lying in wait. A nasty battle broke out, but the party managed to scrape by victorious by the skin of their teeth and through Chet's help. Now they examine a group of humanoids who seem oddly unfazed by the previous commotion. And that is where we find ourselves right now. If you will remember last time, Mooneye and Quill, you managed to ascertain that it seemed like they didn't respond to Stew Drinker tossing the bag of sunlight into their area. They responded to you drawing near to their gate, but they don't seem to be looking right at you. And that's, I believe, where we left off.
Get up here, Mooneye. I think we need to rest before we press further. Look at Quill. She's near dead.
Should we not let these people go?
Are they not dead?
They give me a strange feeling, Mooneye. Do they not?
They do.
I would prefer to face them well prepared, in case they are not as friendly as we would hope.
Do we need to press on beyond them?
That is unknown. We did hear the footsteps behind us, and it seems there could be a labyrinth. There are many halls.
I should mention, just really quick, with charms, Stew Drinker, you see the little humanoid figurine on your charm bracelet melt away, and all of your blessings reset, but the most noticeable thing is Stew Drinker, the light on your sword goes out and fades away. And Quill, you see a little gray stone cube, and you have the charm of stone, which means Quill is feeling strong today.
It's all of a sudden just buff as hell. It's like flexing. Oh, yeah.
And that goes all the way up to Major, by the way, Quill.
Oh, dang. Alrighty.
Oh.
Thank
Huge
you,
Patreon
RLU.
blessings.
And then I need to roll our random Patreon blessing really quick. That's for Stew. I don't know why it rolled. Oh, no. Okay. That is for Stew Drinker.
Whoa.
So let's see what you got. I think everyone is praying it's not the charm of friendship again. And a small star, looks like an amethyst in the shape of a star, forms on your charm bracelet, and you have the charm of the star.
Ooh.
And finally, side quest in is blessing Haskell with a Toby smooch, specifically.
Yes.
Oh, and Haskell, you also have the charm of the star today.
Wonderful.
I think them's all the blessings for now.
Well,
Okay.
that's great.
Continue.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I think
Yeah.
you're right. We should all rest.
Oh, what a relief. And she will sink down to a seat, her back against this wall, at 1 total hit point.
Oh, poor Quill. With dead Dwergar and a smelly... Oh, I don't know if it matters, Quill, but that is still sludgified ground
Oh,
from
yeah,
the
she
zombie
just-
vomit.
She doesn't want to sit in zombie vomit. Where's everyone else going to sit?
So the goats, I should say, they've run away from all of the commotion. They are kind of just milling about.
Come gather near this cage and rest. Come here, Munai. I will earn the title Windbag and tell you stories of one named Vinny.
I will watch this other entrance. Away from you.
What about you, Stew Drinker?
Yeah.
Stories are good for the soul. They promote healing.
Sounds good to me. I'll keep an eye on this end.
Very good. Are we doing a short rest then?
That's what it sounds like. I'm assuming you guys kind of drag the bodies out of the way so Stew Drinker doesn't have to sit on zombie ogre.
I'm not
yeah.
touching a body.
I'll focus on doing that because it looks like everyone's pretty tuckered out.
I'll tell him a story while he does,
Great.
which is, of course, my thing. I'm blanking the name of it. It lets us heal more when we take a short rest. So you guys can take an extra D6 if you spend any hit dice to recover hit points.
Yes. So
Oh,
short
nice.
resting. If I guess Matt, you've played before. Ian, in case you're not familiar, you can roll hit dice to regain hit points. You add your Constitution modifier. That's important with each roll, and you can roll as
Plus
many.
an extra D6.
Yes, since Haskell's excellent story, you can roll up to your level.
Yep.
You got to listen to a little bit of the windbagging, though, if you want that healing.
I will listen to the windbagging, and I healed for a lot.
I will listen, I suppose.
Grudgingly rolling
Dude.
his eyes.
I'd say Stew Drinker probably moves the bodies a little slowly because he's just enraptured by Haskell's storytelling.
Now, remind me, Tori, we can spend as many hit dice as we want on a short rest?
Up to your level, but that's as many
Up
as
to
you
our
get
level.
for the day, and then technically you
only
regain
get-
half on a long rest.
Oh, I thought it was only one for a long rest.
I can't say I've actually ever looked up that rule, but I have been told it's half, but it might be one. Who knows?
So we have a number of
Okay.
hit dice equal to our level
Yep.
per day. We can spend up to those per short rest,
Mm-hmm.
and then we regain some number of them that we'll figure out.
Yes, on a long rest.
Okay. Oof. I think I'm going to spend just 2 of mine right now.
I spent 3.
I'm spending 3.
What was Haskell's story about?
It was about Vinny and about how he once fished out a plesiosaurus and stole its tooth, and how Quill tried to set the evil plesiosaurus free, but that we talked her out of it.
Poor Quill. Getting
Wow,
thrown
even
on
my
the bus.
resting heals are bad. This is what I get for insulting Quill on my rest.
Yeah, Quill's got a big brother on her side now. Maybe he inhibited some of your healing.
The moon disapproves of you.
Snap.
All right. You guys chill. It does not smell great, I have to say. It smells pretty bad because there's dead stuff and now ogre sludge all over. But nothing disturbs you except for perhaps the melodic bleating of the goats as they wander the cavern. And here you are.
So light source. Do we have one at this point? Without a
Haskell's
sword?
drum is glowing.
Yeah, Haskell
yeah.
should still have light on his drum.
Well, shall we walk around the ones without a heart fire first?
And deal with them last? Is that your suggestion, Haskell?
I don't know why you're assuming we have to deal with them. If they're going to stand there being husks, I say we let them.
Would anyone like to examine them and potentially
would.
try and figure out what's
their
going
ish?
on?
I would also like to go examine.
I would take nature or arcana.
Ooh, I'll do an arcana check. She'll look them up and down. What do you think is wrong with them? And I got a 15. We are not affirmated.
I got a 19.
Nice. Both solid rolls. So well, as you probably over the course of your short rest, as you're kind of looking at them, like I said, they don't really respond to, like, they don't seem to pay you any mind. They do respond when you like move near them, but otherwise they just kind of stand around. And when you get a little closer and look at them, you notice that there actually seems to be some kind of plant or fungus growing like on them, and you suspect that these might be what are called Spore Servants, which are essentially bodies that have been reanimated with the spores of I think it's called a myconid.
I don't know if they have any weaknesses.
Essentially they're not undead because they are not magically animated, but they are they're basically just bodies that are walking around because plants are making them. So they don't have any particular weaknesses. They also don't have any particular strengths. Like, they're corpses that have been spored.
Do you have some sort of limitless magic on the weaker side, Quill?
Really quick, Haskell, you would, with your slightly higher roll, you would also, Quill, you can recognize that this is some kind of plant spore animating them. You maybe aren't sure exactly what it is. Haskell, you recognize this as myconid spores, and you know myconids are like basically plant beings that are, they live in the Underdark. They aren't surface dwellers.
And is it Drugers? Is that how you say the name of the dwarf things we were fighting?
I say Dwargars, but I might be wrong.
Are they they're from the Underdark as well?
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Interesting. There may be a myconid about. We should be careful. Perhaps you should end these ones, Quill, through the bars before they can get to us. They are dead.
What do you think of this, Moon Eye? I'm hesitant to burn them to bits, but I do believe
Not
he's
so hesitant
correct.
to drink from severed heads, but hesitant to put a body to rest.
I am torn, Quill. I can understand your hesitancy. I feel they have been removed of their life, but they do not seem to serve in pain or agony. If they are part of the natural world now, then they should be left as such.
But still, if I was taken by them, I would prefer to be consumed by flames than controlled by a mindless plant.
How do we know they are mindless?
Because I said so. I know of these things.
Look at the light in their eyes. It is gone.
I agree
Poke
that
one with my mace through the bars and I just like give it like a firm shove.
Oh, it reacts. Like it tries to recover its balance, and it turns like toward where you shoved it, and like kind of swings, obviously missing everybody.
Step
But
to
it
the
does
side
seem
and
like it
giggle.
attempts to defend itself.
You see this? They are gone.
I agree that they are gone. But that which moves their body may not be gone. It may
Yes.
be connected to a bigger thing.
That which moves their body is a parasite.
And all
Every
things
bird
have their
gone.
purpose.
Yes, and this one is to move corpses around and kill those in its path.
I see them doing no killing.
Not yet. Just don't go complaining to me if we see them on the other side of that gate when we need to get there.
Tori,
You do what you feel is right, Quill.
may
Mhm.
I make a perception check to see if they have any valuables on them?
Sure.
And I have the dark vision if that will help me. 15.
They look pretty much stripped clean. They're wearing clothing, but pretty scant. But with your 15, you can, as you look a bit closer, you see that you see injuries on them, like dried blood. It looks like these bodies were maybe killed violently
Mm,
before this happened to them.
sure. Here is my last concern, Munai, and I will let you make the final decision. And Stew Drinker, you should put your opinion in on this. But if someone has intentionally infected these ones, and they wished to let them loose on the town, would the destruction they wreak weigh upon your conscience?
That is much how devils can work, taking one's mind, isn't it?
I would not know.
If we were to go to one of the farms, something my brother and I do not do, keep animals, I still would not go in and slaughter the sheep that serve their masters.
It is not a sheep. This is something dangerous.
We do not know that, though.
This is true. Stew Drinker, tell us what you think of this.
Is there any way we can free them of this?
Do I
Not-
know that with my knowledge?
Will and Haskell, you guys both can see that these bodies are very clearly dead, and they were dead before being animated. So this doesn't happen to a living being. It happens to a corpse.
Do we not skin our animals to turn them to leather and keep us warm?
We're wanting to wear human leather now, or dwarf leather.
I have
Severed
no
heads and
desire.
dwarf leather. What a strange bunch I have fallen in fates with.
I said nothing of dwarf leather. I am just saying that they are dead bodies being used by someone for a purpose. There is nothing wrong with that. There is no magic involved.
You have strange morals, Munai. It
It is the
intrigues me.
natural order.
I suppose it is somewhere.
But, Quill, if you are concerned about it, I am fine if you destroy them. I am
Perhaps
just
Quill only
voicing
burns
my
goats.
thoughts.
There are 2 goats upstairs that will disagree with you, Haskell.
Yes, they are small goats. You obviously have a hate for large goats.
It was an accident. The cats made me do it.
I'm gonna
And-
go push these gates open right here.
Make an athletics check. They're kind of janky because Quill closed them on the ogre last time.
I'm
so they've
so
been kind of
strong.
bent.
So strong.
12.
Well, You managed. Well, I'll say since it was already kind of broken, you managed to push one of the gates open.
Yeah, I'll get it open like just enough and I'll squeeze through.
Mm-hmm.
Just burn them or let's move on. We have a job to get paid for. I haven't seen coin in ages.
I also feel a light pocket. But I do not think they are worth the magic.
Oh, great. It's a dead end in here. Burn the husks. We must get through. Do you know how expensive spell components are?
May I suggest we take one of the other paths that are open?
I agree.
Strange morals indeed. Very well. You
Haskell,
lead the way.
From up here, I can see it is a dead end.
As can I.
I can see down, right, Tori? It's on a wall.
Here?
Yeah, like where I'm standing.
It's like a cliff. It's like 15 feet down.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
you can see.
Such good eyes on the both of you.
She turns her eyes towards you, and they're like glowing a little bit with like the slit down the middle.
I'm gonna cast a first level Cure Wounds on myself before we go further. Oh my goodness, it's a 1 again! Every time! Why?
Are you really down still?
I am at 23 out of 34.
You have 34 hit points?
Remember, I've like gambled on the roll and it's paid off.
Wow. I was feeling healthy at 20.
I'll cast a first level on you.
Haskell, would you mind giving me some light on my sword?
Haskell's not meant to be healed.
Oh no, that's a 1 from Moon Knight. It's
Yeah.
plus your.
So it's a plus 3.
Okay.
So 4.
We're getting there. Oh, I just went to 50 on accident. I am not that high.
Suddenly, I heal for 10 million.
I'll like grab the blade of your sword, reach way up, and make it light. Just don't go running too far from me, or I will leave you in the dark. I don't see good in these caves.
Can you have light on multiple things?
No, it puts the light off of my drum.
Okay. It's 20 and 10.
Thank you.
I know.
20 and
this every
10.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting better. Okay.
Your eyes are not quite as good as your brother, I see.
Yeah.
I would have thought the other way around, because his one eye is broken.
My eye is not broken, it is blessed.
I don't know if you know this, but that's not how eyes are supposed to look. And I don't think blessings typically look so off-putting.
Perhaps you do not understand blessings.
He's just gonna go walking away.
All right, you guys are turning the corner here.
Mm-hmm.
I can Moon Eye, you see another cliff about the same height as the other one, but nothing else around here other than another huge stalagmite. And Quill, to remind you, this wasn't in the recap, but you did see, you didn't see them. You heard you heard a figure running away.
She's keeping a close ear out for that and like watching the ground to see if like there's shuffles in the ice.
Yeah, you can make a perception check if you'd like.
I wouldn't be happy to do so. 17.
This does not look like an area of the cavern that was well trafficked. You don't see any footprints and things here.
This place is empty.
But Moon Eye, you can begin to see with your crazy dark vision that it looks like this passage here opens up into that same large area where Haskell pounded his drum and all the icicles fell.
Yeah.
I see something this way.
Yeah, and you see also a cold, empty fire pit.
How far down is this?
It's about 15 feet.
Can I slither down?
Sure. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check to land gracefully.
And like, I'm not like leaping, just
Yeah,
for clarification.
you're
I'm like gonna
sliding.
slide. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go alongside him so I don't get too far away from his light.
Oh,
Oh, you
Oh,
have the
with his
light
light.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that. I'm so acrobatical.
Yep, you slide down like a slide, and you
21.
land on your feet. Stew Drinker, you are also able to get down without incident.
Goodness.
Why don't you use that wind and fly down here, Quill?
I'll slide down and then, I mean, I'm 7 something. I'll just put my hands up so that she can
Try
slide
and
down.
help
and I-
Quill down.
perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go ahead and acrobatics with advantage.
Oh, okay. I.
Oh,
nat
you
20.
don't even need it.
Oh,
Nat
but she
20
will.
that.
She will still take the help.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, we should like
Both
join a
rolls so
circus. Look
great.
at these.
I know, you guys are so
acrobats.
good. Also graceful here. Yes, Quill, you land. There's a small whoosh of air beneath your feet that just like ever so slightly softens your landing as Moon Eye helps set you down. And
you.
in here, let me come to my description. So you see, like I said, the cold fire pit in the middle of the area. The ceiling also slopes down, so it's a little lower here. Not really low, it's like still about 20 feet, but not like the big cavern you came from. There's a natural little alcove kind of shelf on one side where you see a desk and a chair tucked away, and then a bed set in the back area. And another big stalagmite.
Haskell, perhaps there is something in the desk that would explain their presence here.
Hmm.
Yes, boost me up there, Stew Drinker.
This one's a
Right.
little lower. It's only about 5 feet up.
My statement stands.
I'll boost Haskell up.
Dr. Roll, can you just boost me up?
No, you can do that.
I keep
That's easy
forgetting I'm
enough.
probably like knee level with these Goliaths. Like,
I'll climb up with him too.
Yeah, you can kind of. Maybe you can't quite step it. It's a big step for you, but you can get up there
Mhm.
easily enough.
yeah, can I search through this desk?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go look at the bed while he's doing that.
Okay. So you, on top of the desk, you see a small pile of broken shards of this black glass material that you've been seeing around now quite a bit, Haskell. It does indeed look like the same material of Quill's amulet that you have now secretly pocketed.
And it's shards of it?
Shards, yeah. So it's not carved. It doesn't look like this sword amulet or anything. It's just like broken fragments of it.
Are they thin?
Meaning what?
Like, are they like thick chunks of like crystal? Or are they like thin sheets, kind of like glass?
Varies. Different sized fragments. They don't appear to be all. They don't like appear to line up. It doesn't look like one big mass that was broken up. It looks like bits and pieces kind of collected.
Can I crunch a piece of it with my mace into like very fine shards?
Sure. Go ahead and make I guess just a strength check.
See how good I can crunch. Okay, strength. 16.
Okay, you break it further, but
Yeah.
it actually seems somewhat resistant to being broken. Like if this were glass, right, you would have absolutely shattered it with that hit. You're pretty confident, but this, you do break it into smaller chunks, but you don't shatter it like maybe you were expecting.
I have no idea how one refines this drug. Interesting. I'm gonna put the pieces into my satchel.
Okay.
Haskell's still convinced this is a drug because that's what he learned about this.
You also see a piece of parchment on the desk.
Give it a read.
Do any of you speak Dwarvish?
I think I do. Where are my languages at? I do not speak Dwarvish. Nope.
It appears to be in a language you do not understand.
I'm gonna grab Stew Drinker's arm and like pull the sword closer to the parchment. I can't understand this. Can you?
No. I've never seen anything like this before.
I'm gonna roll it up and pocket it.
Okay.
And I guess I'll take all of this like black ice that I can carry.
Okay.
Is it like very heavy or like is it
No.
reasonable to carry it around?
Yeah, it's not huge chunks. You can pocket it all.
Okay. And that's all I see?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go slide back down.
The bed, Moon Eye, looks recently used. It looks sized for like a dwarf-sized person. You're assuming probably a Dwergar. That would make sense. Are you like searching the bed or are you just like looking at it?
Yeah, I'll pat around, I guess.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Nice.
Man, you guys are rolling so good today. You find a small pouch, tucked expertly inside the mattress, and you pull it out, and there's 10 gold.
I will say, Quill, come here.
Quill looks up from where she's crouched over the fire, her hand over the coals to see if there was any residual heat, and she'll walk over to Mooneye.
I have no use for this. Please take it.
Oh, I thank you, Mooneye. And she won't even bother to look inside. She'll just drop it in like her hip pouch.
Okay, are you just dropping it, Quill?
Yeah, she's just gonna tuck it away.
Okay. What's your passive perception? It's 10 plus your
10.
perception. It's 10. Okay.
It's just 10.
Okay. That's fine. Don't panic. Don't panic.
13,
I was
if that means
asking. No,
anything.
so, I was asking because I'm wondering if Quill would notice that her amulet is gone as she's tucking this in. But since she's not seeking it out, I was just gonna see if maybe she would notice. But I think probably not.
Yeah, probably not. She's just open, drop, doesn't even look down, and then turns. That is quite the large fire. How long do you think they've been here?
Was it warm?
Was it warm?
It was not.
It was cold as ice.
Well, they told us how long it had been haunted, correct? But I don't
Yes.
remember what they said.
They said it's been closed several months. Coming up on a year is how long it's been closed. But I guess I should say they didn't specifically tell you how long it's been haunted.
The place has been closed for nearing a year now. Do you think they have been surviving here this long?
This seems like a perfect place for them to live.
How do they get food here? They had the goats. They must eat. We should proceed with caution.
I agree.
And Stew Drinker found drugs and scribbles of nonsense. And he's gonna unfurl the paper. Can either of you read this?
I cannot.
It is not in any language that I speak.
I'll pocket it again.
Don't you have comprehend languages?
Yeah.
Okay.
That I do.
Just checking. No problem. I just thought I remembered you using that at some point. I think it was the Elvish or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a while ago. That's not a ritual. Oh, it is a ritual spell. That's cool. Okay.
All right. This is this room. You guys moving on?
Yes, we should move on.
There appears to be kind of a natural hallway leading to the main cavern area over here.
Do you think that whoever I sensed before has made their escape?
I don't know. Do you think we're going to get shorted payment for leaving the spore-infested bodies?
I have no way of knowing that, Haskell.
It's coming out of your cut if they do.
It will come out of my cut.
That's fair as well.
Just as
And
long as
not
it doesn't come out of
hers.
Haskell's. As you round the corner, you guys can see a whole pile of boxes and bags and supplies.
I'm going to go start smashing the boxes open with my mace. Like,
You
in a way to, like, get lids off, not just start, like, bashing them
Like-
randomly.
You're just like pulling a Legend of Zelda and smashing pots or
Yes.
finding them rupees. You bop one open and some like grain and like it looks like food and living supplies basically.
I'm going to taste it.
What do Dwergar eat? It tastes like powder, like something you would boil in water. Tastes like powder. What a dumb thing. It is powder, and it tastes like you would probably pour it in water and then boil it to like make some kind of soup or stew. If anyone, probably, well, I guess any of you guys could probably judge this. Go ahead and make a survival check if you would like.
Haskell doesn't care. He scoops some in his pocket. It's a little handful of powder.
A little handful of powder in your pocket. Gross. You're gonna get snow on it, and then it's gonna get all goopy and disgusting.
That or it's anthrax.
Maybe it's both.
Or King Augustus.
Let's see. Okay, so Stew Drinker and Moon Eye, you guys can both tell that this appears, judging from just like how many Dwergar it seemed like were here and how big these boxes are, it seems like there's enough food and supplies here to last like at least another month. If they had obviously continued to live here.
What is it that they want here? I do not understand.
That is a good question.
Does anything live anywhere? We like it underground.
Stew Drinker, have you formed any opinions yet?
I'm a little conflicted right now. I just don't know, coming in here, if they were just living here and we invaded their home. They wanted us to clear this out, but I don't know what's going on. I feel a little guilty if we've come in and just attacked.
Those are wise thoughts, brother.
That is where the coin went. They could have paid for the same thing on the castle. What difference would it have made?
Wait a minute. Are we the bad guys?
Besides, we were just investigating if it was haunted. They attacked us first, did they not?
This is true.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I just feel a little uneasy about this.
Guilt cannot be put on one who takes the second swing. That's what I always say.
He'll step over and look up at Stew Drinker. If you feel conflicted, remember, they are keeping people in cages.
Don't listen to
And she
Crow.
will point back towards the way where they have all these undead bodies in a cage milling about. And they did not even keep just those, but powerful beings that should be allowed to live how they wish. You saw him half torn to bits, that poor ogre.
Quiet your silver whispers. You're in no state to be making moral advice.
I am surprised to say this, but I agree with Windbag. Those were dead creatures back there. Everything was dead. Some brought back by magic, some brought back by nature. But does not mean those who used them were inherently evil.
It does not indicate of a holy life, I would say.
What does Lavistus think?
Whom?
He'll fold his arms and just kind of smile at Quill.
I do
I'm not
not
talking
know
to
this.
you, Quill.
She'll pointedly look behind her.
He's just gonna stare at her.
It would seem that you are asking me a question, Haskell.
We'll see, Lavistus.
That is not my name.
I know it's not. Bring that light over this way. Let's move on.
Right.
All right. There are 3 just bare bones, simple cots here, gathered around another cold fire pit. You see the remains of cooked goat and a pot, like a mess kit, including there's a pot in there with some like residue that reminds you of the powder that you just pocketed, Haskell.
Okay. I want to look underneath all the cots.
Okay. You find bits and pieces, or not bits and pieces. You find coins, and between all 3 of them, you get another 10 gold. Well, I shouldn't say another. I don't know if you know about the first 10 gold, but you find 10 gold.
You'd be surprised how many fools keep coin under their beds.
We should all eat while we have food available to us. I'll cut off some of the goat and munch on it.
It's cold, but not like, certainly not
Bad.
rotting or
Yeah.
anything, yeah.
Dew Drinker will follow his brother's lead.
Too bad we do not have the time or the means to make this into a stew.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
These ones are not related to Annabelle.
How do you know?
I can tell by the bones.
Who is this
It
Annabelle
was-
you speak of?
A wondrous creature. Maybe you'll meet her someday.
You speak of her often.
She has wonderful bone structure. These ones do not. These are eating goats. Is there anything further we need to do down here, or should we just go report back and say that there are some spore-infested bodies that you didn't want to leave because of leather or something?
I think we should continue down the path.
Very well.
And as you do so, you find yourselves running into the goats who've trotted over this way. And you see the entrance to that cavern area.
Mhm.
Haskell will pet the goats and just keep moving on.
We have almost come back around, although I feel there might have been one more route we didn't take.
Meta, you guys did take all of them.
Okay.
Do one more quick look around and
Yeah.
then just meet back here.
You're good.
May
You
I
found all of the cave stuff.
May I come over here and like crouch down and see if there are more footprints going back the way we've come? And if there are footprints, how many?
Going, like, following you or leaving?
Like leaving. Like we came in through the one tunnel and then I felt bodies rushing past me.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Go ahead and make a survival check. You do see tracks.
18.
Okay, you do see a set of footprints heading the opposite way that you guys came in. You only identify one
Okay.
fresh looking trail.
They look like they have approximately the size of a boot of a
Yep.
medium-sized creature.
They look they like, obviously you're not super versed on Dwergar anatomy, but judging from like the size that you saw them and everything, it seems like that's maybe what this was.
Cool. She'll crouch down and like trace out a footprint with her finger for everyone to see.
She's crouching down doing that. Haskell's going to knock on her forehead.
What?
He's just going to stare. Just sing Who's Home.
My name is Tranquility.
We all know it's Quill. You don't ever say tranquility.
I thought perhaps you needed an official introduction since you have forgotten who your friend is.
What do you take me for? Some kind of notary or speaker?
She doesn't know what to say to that, so she just like frowns and goes back.
As this happens, Mooneye, you feel a charm grow on your bracelet, and you have been given. It's the shape of a gray stone cube, and you've been given the charm of stone, which is the same as
Interesting.
Quill's.
So one of them escaped. This is enough to report.
Or perhaps one of them is waiting for us.
Perhaps. It would be a fool if it was.
We should take the goats with us as they should not go to waste.
Can Haskell go try to persuade the goats to follow us?
Sure. Go ahead and make an animal handling check.
I would love to do that. That's its own skill?
Mm-hmm.
I need to get better at this.
Yeah.
7.
That's all you need, really. They're tamed goats. They've been, raised around people, so you kind of, tap their bums or beckon or whatever, call to them, and they come along pretty easily.
Play a nice goat leading beat on the drum, obviously.
Obviously. You do know there's a ladder up at the head of this cavern, so that might take some finagling to get the goats up.
Just
But they
waits
do
to see
follow.
how Haskell handles this.
Oh, he's not gonna. He'll get him to the ladder, and he'll look at the goats and look up at Stew Drinker, and then he's just gonna climb the ladder.
Can I try to put a goat on my shoulders and lift?
Yeah. Go ahead and make a strength check.
Okay.
Or athletics if you have that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, easy.
Oh, no problem.
Easy. With that
Sweet.
24 athletics.
Quill looks at the little stone cube at her wrist and then decides, why not try as well?
Do it.
So I get advantage on this. This is not going to go well.
They're hauling goats.
I got a 9! So...
Did you add your 4 already?
No, I did not. It is +4. And we're at a +2 from chat. So I'm actually at 11 + 4, 15.
That will be enough.
Okay.
You have
So
to
it
go.
like starts like wiggling and she like clamps down on the legs and goes easy now. Control yourself.
And the goat responds.
Okay, and then she will climb up. One hand like this and the other, up the ladder.
Very good. We can swap back to the nice character portraits if you like, Katie, because we're just going to be journeying back to the castle for the moment.
Before we journey back to the castle, when we get back up there, can I move my light back to myself? And then Haskell just wants to sit down and start doing a ritual casting of comprehend languages.
Up in the inn?
Scroll. Uh-huh.
Okay. Yes, that is all doable. Let me grab
They'll
you
go
guys.
start doing it while they're hauling goats up the ladders.
It doesn't take long because Quill and Stew Drinker are both feeling very strong right now.
Yeah, he's just gonna sit down and just start like staring at it and doing some magic. I imagine he starts doing a spell and like the words kind of start glowing and coming off the page a bit, something he can understand.
Yes. Let me... Sorry, I'm just dumping you guys onto the next little map. Not that we super need it, but I thought you would enjoy seeing all the dead Dwargar bodies again. So
Yeah, thank you.
So
Well,
satisfying.
because they're still there.
while Haskell's doing this, I would like to check the front door and the snow outside for those footprints.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception or survival?
This one, go ahead and do perception.
Okay. Oh, I still have advantage on accidentally.
You can
It's a
just use
14.
the yeah.
So 16 total.
You do notice a set of tracks leaving that
Mm.
that seem to match the ones that you saw down below.
We have let one escape. It goes this way.
It is dealt with. Now hush, I'm trying to read something.
So 10 minutes.
Yep.
Okay. The goats start picking through the boxes and things and munching on some bits of paper and detritus scattered around Haskell. Anything in particular the rest of you guys are doing for 10 minutes while Haskell does this? Quill, I guess you're keeping a lookout for the tracks and stuff.
Yep, that's what she's doing.
Okay.
While he's casting that, I would like to do a little ritual myself of speak with animals. So
Why?
I think
How do you? Oh, is that because your bear thing?
yeah. So
Oh my goodness.
after 10 minutes, I would like to talk with the goats, if that's all right.
Yeah. What does your ritual casting look like?
What I would imagine is that, like, as Stew Drinker stares at the goats, he just kind of tries to mimic everything they do. He gets up on, like, all four legs, and if they just start, like, going through, like, boxes of food, he'll go through it with them and try to mimic their sounds, like a little.
Haskell's just side-eyeing this as he's doing his own ritual.
The goats become fascinated and head over towards Stew Drinker, who is acting like them, and they draw near. And yes, at the end of 10 minutes, Haskell will be able to read this letter, and Stew Drinker will be able to talk to goats.
Man, his is better.
Haskell needs to learn that spell. Okay, who would like to go first?
Let Stew Drinker go first.
Okay. Well,
Awesome.
actually, sorry, I know I literally just asked you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the letter first in case you have questions for the goats regarding the letter.
That's good.
That's fair.
I don't know what they'll know, but maybe.
Goats, known for massive information gathering.
Exactly. They're very smart. Okay. So this is obviously written in English, but before your eyes, Haskell, the letters, you can suddenly understand them. And here's what it says. Well, I guess is it okay if I show this to everyone? Chase.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
This is what you see. And why don't you narrate Haskell's inner monologue of reading this letter, and so we can just hear it out loud.
Terrible handwriting on this one, even with the magic. Nildan, we have stationed ourselves on the frozen ferry in East Haven. There, this new base. The search continues. Stay hidden with your force until Father's weapon is unleashed. If you manage to steal some chandelier from those cultists, all the better, but do not sacrifice your stealth to do it. Our dark day is coming. Dearth. Well, that sounds rather concerning.
The word Chardalin doesn't, you don't, well, I don't know. Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
I'm glad that it's not like a commonplace word that I just couldn't read. I feel better now.
No, it's a magical word.
Nope.
You aren't sure what that is. Other than that the letter does say if you manage to steal some from the cultists, all the better.
We're going and robbing alcohol from cultists. How interesting.
All right, and over here with the goats. Boy, I should have been thinking of a goat voice. Okay, I got it. How do you start this conversation? Because I don't think the goats are going to start it. They don't know that you can talk to them.
Okay.
They probably don't know they can talk.
They're like, whoa.
What I picture is that it's like, it starts off just like a bunch of bah, until it finally transitions into like just us being able to communicate back and forth. And I'd like to say, are you okay?
Whoa, I've never talked to one of the humans before. Well, are you a human? You look bigger than the other ones.
I'm a Goliath. It's nice to meet you. And I'm gonna hold
just
my
glad
hand
you're
out.
not one of those awful white little dwarf things. They were trying to eat us.
Oh. Well, where's your home?
We go where the food is.
Okay. Do you know what they were doing down there?
Well, they were eating us. There used to be 5, but now it's just me and Billy.
Okay. If you went outside, would you know where to go, or do you want to come with us?
Are you gonna eat us too?
I'm not planning on it now that I've talked with you.
That's the barrier that you've crossed. Once I talk to it, I can't eat it anymore.
Haskell's gonna not even seem concerned that he's speaking goat, and he's just gonna walk over. Ask them if they know a Nildar or a Dearth.
Oh, do you know Nildar or Dearth?
Oh, Nildar. He was the leader or whatever. Down there, where we came from. He was always yelling at the other ones.
Do you know what he was planning on doing?
Well, mostly they just sat around all day. He yelled at us sometimes for being too loud, 'cause he said we all needed to be quiet. Well, he didn't say we needed to be quiet, but sometimes when Billy really got singing away his favorite song, they would yell and get really mad.
Oh, I'd like to relay all that information to everyone else, in common. But I'd also like to say, what's your favorite song?
Well, my favorite song is the only song I know. Do you know other songs?
Oh,
My favorite song goes like this. Ba ba ba.
that's beautiful.
And then that's the first verse. There are 10 of them. Do you want to hear the rest?
Maybe a little bit later. I want to make sure you're safe. Thank you.
The goat shrugs, as goats do, and chows on more of the box.
I didn't know your brother was a druid.
He is not.
No. Well, he has learned with them then. Either that or
Yeah.
he is crazy.
He is nothing of the things you say.
You're an odd pair.
Surprising to you, there are many things you do not understand in the world, Haskell.
Do you think these people that we were talking to before are cultists?
The humans in the castle?
Yes, they sure seem to act strange with Quill. I think Quill may be a cultist now, whether she intends to be or not.
I think that there is something strange going on in there.
Should we share this information with them about a weapon?
With the goats?
Not the goats.
Not the goats, brother.
With the cultists.
All right.
Though you may share it with the goats if you wish. They deserve a bit of excitement. Also, ask if they are related to Annabelle.
I'll do that. Both of those things.
So, what's the first thing? Not the Annabelle question, but the other thing.
So there's this weapon. Do you know anything about that?
The dragon? He was going on and on all the time about a dragon.
Dragon. I would probably say it dragon in common, just out of sheer surprise and shock.
Oh, those are goats.
No, I believe they were answering the weapons question, Haskell.
Huh. A dragon is not a weapon. A dragon is a godly creature.
It sounds like the Duergar were talking about a dragon.
Using a dragon as a weapon. This is a disgrace. Cultists and dragon weaponizing. This is an unlikely town. I don't like it here.
I'll turn
What
back
does
to the
Lavistus
ghost.
think, Quill?
She looks over from the door as if tuning in to the first time to your conversation.
Drop the charade and ask Lavistus in your head, or wherever he speaks to you from, the shadows, the corners. Ask him if he knows anything of a dragon and a weapon.
You make assumptions, and I do not know where you get these ideas from, Haskell.
I like to think that if I was possessed by a devil, I would get more use out of it. Always so naive, Quill.
If I was possessed by a devil, then I would get use out of it. But as I am not,
At least you went and slapped people. That was amusing. Are you going to do that again?
if they deserve it.
Does that
And
poor
she
girl
stares
inside
at
the
him
castle
for an
deserve it?
extra long time.
He's just gonna grin back.
But I will, in my head, ask Lavistus if what's up with the dragon.
There is no answer. However, hearing talk of a dragon, you remember the words from Hethel, the soothsayer that you killed. And she spoke of the Duergar, a Duergar named Zardarok, hidden in a fortress somewhere in the Spine of the World mountains, who was building a weapon with the heart of a dragon.
Okay. Yeah. They were there for that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I will extremely pointedly be like, but as I do not have a devil in my head, I luckily have a memory of my own. Do you remember speaking with Hethel? She said that they were making a weapon with the heart of a dragon.
She did.
Have you
That
seen
must
your
be their
amulet,
father.
Will,
Sorry,
have you seen your amulet lately?
I have not. And I'll check my pockets in my little side pouch.
It is gone.
Dun 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 dun. Okay. It appears that it has been misplaced. Not important though.
Always so irresponsible.
Okay,
What the-
Emily's like big asshole over here, Haskell. Okay. I do not know where it could have gone, Haskell. It is not my intention to be irresponsible.
Let us go get paid for our work, shall we?
Once we tell them of what we have done, maybe we should go to this East Haven. Was that the name on the letter?
Yes, East Haven. New base.
Sounds like there are more of these things there.
Tori, what do we
Perhaps.
know of East Haven?
Well, you know, it's one of the 10 towns. Go ahead and make a history check.
That's what I've always wanted to do. Oops, I still have advantage on. I'll take that off right now. 7.
You don't know much. You know it's it's one of the bigger ones. One of the bigger of the
I have always
towns.
wanted to see this place. It is, I hear, enormous.
Well, I don't know what our purpose is here together, but I suppose de-weaponizing a dragon is as good as any. Perhaps it could be a friend.
I think that if they have already taken its heart, it might not be alive any longer.
You never
Brother,
know.
what do you think we should do?
I think if they're gonna make a weapon, and this is connected to what that soothsayer said, then they're a threat. They're a threat to us, to the people of 10 towns, and to our tribes.
You have the heart of a hero, don't you, Stew Drinker?
Thank you.
He has much heart fire. He is warmer than a Jira. Plus he speaks goat. I like this one.
Did you mention Annabelle?
Yeah, do you know her?
She's the coolest goat in the universe. Who doesn't know
Really?
Annabelle? Everyone wants to be her or be friends with her. Have you met her?
I haven't, but Haskell. They know Annabelle.
Any of you tries to eat these goats, I will personally crunch your fingers. Understood? They have complete sanctuary. He's gonna side-eye Quill.
Will was definitely planning on selling these goats. We are not bringing these goats with us everywhere we go.
I'm gonna go open the door and I'm gonna shoo the goats out. Tell them they are free to go wherever. Run from the butchers.
You're free to go.
Okay. Seems like there's lots of food in here.
Oh, you're free
They'll-
to stay too.
They'll just kind of mosey around and continue to eat the spare garbage.
If
I
we
suppose
run,
this is their home now.
Brother, if you do not take them with you, you are just preparing them to be taken by someone else, fattened and killed.
Quill, it occurs to you these could be useful resources at the castle.
Yeah, that was like her whole thing. She was gonna go, Haskell, why do we not put them behind the castle walls, where they will be milked and fed daily?
You think they would milk them and feed them?
Of course, they are set up with stables.
Is that what you're doing with your Yeti tyke?
Of course.
Have you ever had Yeti milk?
My tyke is not being milked. I should have been clearer. It is being taken care of.
Very well. Though we specify that they are not to be butchered until they are at a rightful age.
She
What
shrugs.
that age is? Who's is anybody's guess except Haskell's. All
Let us
right,
go then.
you guys head out with the goats in tow.
Yep. If it looks like they might wander off, I have rope that I'll tie around their horns to keep them from going too far. But she also assumes that Stew Drinker, the goat man, will be able to keep them with us.
Yes, they seem very inclined to follow Stew Drinker.
Perfect.
So they will follow you up to the castle.
Do I remember correct? Is there like a bridge to this castle? Or is
No.
it just like at the top of town?
I'll show you the picture again because it's cool art. So it's just up a hill. So you guys are kind of like, I guess, in this image near the.
Is this not a bridge? Looks like there's buildings underneath. I
It's
can't
just
tell.
on the other side of the
it's-
hill.
Oh, okay.
Are
Yeah.
the
I
buildings?
see.
Yeah.
The depth.
Yep. This castle is sort of set up above the rest of town.
Perfect.
So you make your way up the hill and to the castle's gates.
So there's a pretty tall ledge, like on the way up. Yeah.
I suppose it depends on what you intend to do with it. I wouldn't say there's like a steep drop-off cliff. The trail is pretty wide and pretty gradual, but there are like cliff sides, I guess.
Okay, never mind.
What are you trying?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. I mean, I'm a little worried about it. If I'm being honest, I'm a little worried about it.
Just let me know if we're near any precarious heights. All right.
Okay. I'll just keep that in mind. I mean, you have essentially free access to this castle currently, and it has like guard towers at each corner.
Parapets.
Parapets. Yes.
Noted.
Okay. So you head into the castle, and we can just stay on this picture because it's cool, but you are greeted in the courtyard by you're greeted in the courtyard by Thub, who was one of the people you encountered last time. He's kind of the snaky, servanty guy that does not like Haskell, and indeed he seems displeased to be the one meeting you at the gates and escorting you inside. He's rather quiet, except when he sees you. Are you carrying these Dwergar heads? How
Yeah.
are these being transported?
Yeah,
Were you carrying these through town? I guess I probably should have asked that.
Haskell's
well,
not.
Do
There
we
was
have
a
a sack? If we have a sack, then we'll carry them in that. Otherwise, then yes.
There was
I mean,
that blanket on the floor in the other place. We could have just bundled them up in there and carried it like that if necessary.
Sure. So you've got a makeshift
Bloody bag.
Yeah, wow, that's grisly. Okay. So you carried a rug, because it wasn't a blanket, it was a rug. Bundled up.
Why do do they have long hair?
Yeah.
So while we're taking doing the rituals and everything, I'll just braid all their hairs together so they can just hold one and they just kind of hang off. Like you do with garlic. You know,
Of
you braid the
course.
garlic.
This isn't
Exactly.
better. That's not better. let's
That's
let's
better.
just be
Much better.
clear. That's not better. It's just
Well,
different.
I mean, honestly, I'd rather see the cluster of heads than have to guess what's in the big bloody bag.
Yeah, exactly. It's better than the pooling blood on the
Oh my gosh.
carrying carpet.
That
Okay.
looks like a grisly trophy instead of like trying to hide a murder.
Suffice it to say, the people in town give you an extremely wide berth and look at you like they don't seem to know what those are. Well, obviously they're heads, but like what creatures those are. And you hear, whispers. Granted, this isn't a huge town. There's like 100 people, but the people who are out and see it are clearly concerned by this sight of garlic heads.
Instead of waving at people when she saw them watching last time, she's winking at them now. Just a little
Not better.
stew drinker.
This is just slowly getting worse.
They are uneasy. Give them a wink.
Oh, okay. And he's gonna try and probably fail, just blinking at them with both eyes.
So close. Yes. That's good.
You guys make it to the castle. Nobody bothers you, but everyone leaves you alone. They don't smile at you, stew drinker, when you try and wink at them. They quickly kind of run away if anyone makes eye contact with them. So Thub greets you, and he sees these heads and says, "I guess you were successful then, huh?"
If you're going to slap one next time, Quill, make it this one.
Why? Nice to see
I
that.
don't like him.
I am a loyal servant of the knighthood.
Yes, you are a very good minion, aren't you?
I will not be talked down to by an outsider.
You're talking down to me. Look at your height. Do you feel so small?
he just
Can
glares.
I intimidate to like shake him? Like I just want to make him uncomfortable.
Sure.
Good. 12.
Can I secretly be doing an intimidation over Haskell's shoulder? Like behind him, it's
Are
like
you
goes
trying
Haskell and
to-
I'm here.
Are
and
you
I'm,
trying
like,
to aid
glowering him.
hit a Haskell, or are you trying to individually intimidate him?
I was trying to, I guess, individually intimidate,
You can make an intimidation check. Then.
because she really wants them to be afraid of her and not Haskell. 12 is exactly the same.
Both of you guys.
Yeah.
So you cut this imposing silhouette, both of you, you know, Haskell down here, Quill up here. And he just like glares at the both of you, but says nothing. And just kind of huffs finally and turns around and says, "Follow me."
What
And-
a good little minion you are.
He walks through the double doors into the dining hall where you guys ran into, well, not literally ran into, but found Mir last time, the little blue tiefling servant girl whom Quill hit and Stew Drinker befriended. It's kind of a mixed experience for her with you guys. And he leads you up the stairs. Or I'm sorry, not up the stairs. He leads you through the door where you came last time and into Kadroth's office, where he is sitting behind his desk, staring at the fire. And it's been a few hours, probably, since you guys left.
Has he cleaned up at all? Or is he just sitting there, like, motionless?
Like, cleaned up his desk
Yeah, because
from
I, like-
when you torched
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I torched stuff.
Yes, everything seems to be in order
Okay.
once more. And he turns and he gets up as you guys walk in and he says, "Oh, very good. I am very pleased to see that you were successful. I presume that is what these heads are all about."
I just lick my teeth and stare at him.
Yes, we have taken care of the problem at the inn.
Excellent.
Also, do you speak Dwarvish?
Do I speak Dwarvish?
Yes. Read it, rather.
Does he speak Dwarvish? Let's see. To actually use his character sheet. I've no need for such a simple, common tongue. I
Do you
speak
not?
I speak the language of our master.
Well, then read this. He's going to put the parchment on his desk.
One
There's
should,
important information there. Do you not need it?
one
There
should
are-
always be prepared to serve the master in many ways, whether that be translation or basic hygiene.
Excuse me, I have other means for ascertaining the information we need, and I assure you that I will quickly determine the purpose of this letter and be able to form a plan according to the master's will.
Of course.
And as you know, the master knows all, so why do I need to know such a language as Dwarvish? And he'll slide the parchment across his desk and look at it, and he like studies it very closely for a little while, holds it kind of against the fire, and then finally nods satisfied and rolls it up and sticks it in his coat pocket.
We cannot wait a fortnight for your methods. Perhaps we will just tell you what it said.
Do you speak Dwarvish then?
We have translated it as we are most loyal servants who are capable.
Well, good. You will be useful additions to the knighthood then. We can't all do all the things now, can we? We each have our own role to play, as it were.
I'm going to put the black glass on the table. Or the black ice. You can keep this as well. I expect payment for our work, as well as a uniform. And I need some requisitions for my armaments.
I do suppose your great service in this, well, Actually, before we get to that, I presume I have your word that the inn is in fact cleared of all Dwergar threats.
One got away, but he's no longer in the inn.
I see. A less than thorough performance, then.
His name was Nildar. Everything you need to know is in the letter, which I have translated for you for free.
Did you write down the translation?
No.
Okay. Well, where is this translation? I don't...
You took the parchment from me.
He'll pull it out and look at it again. I don't see any translation here.
I'm going to snatch it out of his hands. Give me a quill.
I'll just lift one off of his desk and hand it over to Haskell. Just
I
like
don't
not
mean
even
that kind of quill. A writing quill.
I did get a writing quill.
I make a joke on your name. He'll take the quill. He'll start scribbling a translation down. He'll be accurate.
Okay. Ah, yes. Excellent. Chardolin. Is that what they're after?
That's what it sounds like. Some sort of booze.
I assure you, Chardolin is nothing of the sort.
Well, then
This
explain it.
is Chardolin, and he'll motion to the black glass pieces on the desk.
One and
Although
the
I
same then.
can't imagine what they might be doing with it. This is worrisome news.
Why don't you ask the master? Perhaps he will enlighten you.
Well, perhaps if I could get more than 5 seconds of uninterrupted time, I would be able to do exactly that.
Do you know how long we were gone for?
I have many matters to attend to, not the least of which includes continuing to influence this town in the name of our master. I don't know if you're aware, but the speaker has taken ill. And we are in control of this town now. That is no small feat, and it does not require a little attention to maintain a town. It requires quite a bit of my time, in the master's name.
Where is the provision master then? I'll go speak to someone who will be useful to me.
We have staked out quarters for you in the northeast tower. You may rest there.
Will my payment be sent there?
He goes behind his desk and pulls out a small gold pouch and slides it across and says, if you are to be in the knighthood, that is payment. Service to the master. Lavistus pays us in his own way. This is some small compensation for your good work.
Hassel's gonna look back and grin at Quill. Lavistus is paying us.
He'll slide the gold pouch across.
Perhaps this is...
Skull, pick it up.
Listen, we thank you for this small compensation. However, I did want to correct a detail of what you said before. You said that our work was not complete, it was not favorable, but the one we let get away will lead us exactly where we need to go. So if we find that you have skimped on our pay for believing we did not do it appropriately, you would find yourself well mistaken. You may run towns, but we get things done.
Do you mean to threaten me in my own office, in my own castle, surrounded by my own followers?
Of course
right
not.
in front of the master.
Of course not. And anywhere we would say anything would be in front of the master. I merely wish to correct a misunderstanding.
I want to follow up by saying, unfortunately for all of us, I think she's in much more favor with your master than you are. And his eyes are going to flash as he does it. Can I do a words of terror since I've been discussing with this guy for a little bit?
I don't know what that is, but sure.
So I have to be talking to them for a minute to use it. He has to make a wisdom saving throw or become frightened for an hour.
What
He's
is
just gonna shiver behind his desk for an hour.
What's your DC?
DC is 13.
Why are you not
And if they
rolling?
succeed, they have no hint that I tried to frighten them, which seems like an important detail.
bit.
Oh, wow. Okay, it just rolled now twice. Okay. Wait, it's 13 is your DC?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna use a villain point and re-roll.
Well, fine then.
And he passed. But he doesn't know that you tried to do that, right?
No. Says if they succeed, they have no hint that I tried
So
to.
you see him, like, his eyes kind of grow wide for a moment, Haskell, and he kind of starts to look distant, like look past you guys, and then suddenly he like snaps out of it and kind of looks, a little bit. He starts fixing his coat. He looks a little bit ruffled, but he looks okay overall. Yes, well, I assure you that part of the payment is your room and board is paid for. You are free to come and go from this castle as you choose. We will feed you. We will house you. That is no small fortune.
Uniform.
Our uniform is the emblem we bear. And he'll
Oh.
pat again his amulet.
Well, Quill will need a new one of those.
Unfortunately, it seems that mine has disappeared from my pocket. It has wounded me greatly.
You are silly and foolish to misplace
Excuse me?
such a powerful artifact.
Oh. She steps up to the desk and like puts a hand on either side and like leans in close, and her eyes like catch the glint of the fire as she like does like a small growl on the back of her throat. You will watch your tongue, sir. You are not the only one who has power around here. And I'm gonna do an intimidation check.
Okay.
15.
Nice.
Okay. He looks a little nervous, but he says, I suggest you mind your tongue as well. I am the leader that Lavistus has chosen for the knighthood. Now, until that changes, I suggest you show some modicum of respect.
You are the one who is throwing around insults. And if you are the one who has been chosen, perhaps you should treat the position with the decorum it deserves.
He looks flustered and a little shaken and steps behind his desk and says, Leave me. I have many things to ask the master. Now, get out. If you have any matters pertaining to your living arrangements, you can take it up with Thoob.
We will.
Oob.
As I straighten, is there a paper on the desk that I can crumple and then drop onto his desk before I walk out?
Sure.
Perfect.
Tranquility of this
Grumbles
castle.
as you guys walk out.
This is my favorite Quill.
And Mir, the small servant girl, well, Thoob once again is at the door. He seemed to maybe be listening. He quickly backs away from the door as you guys walk out, and he's about to say something when Mir, the small tiefling girl, walks in and says, I've been instructed to lead you to the tower.
Just walk and do not speak.
And she quickly turns away and walks out the door. And as soon as you leave Thub's presence, she turns to Stew Drinker, because she likes you the most, and like motions you down to like she's gonna whisper something to you. It's a secret, but I'm supposed to take you to see Avarice downstairs. Will you tell her I'm afraid if I talk, she'll hit me.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Don't worry. And wink with both eyes. Quill, Tranquility. We're gonna go see Avarice.
Interesting. I would love to see this Avarice.
And with that, we will go ahead and break for 10 minutes. So we'll be back at 9:17-ish. We'll just go ahead and round up. We'll be back at 9:20 and see what Avarice has to say.
See you soon, everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. Let me make sure you guys can see where we're at. Okay, so I guess I should explain where in the castle this is. So Mir leads you to the northwest tower. So you guys are staying in the northeast tower. That's where your living situation is. Mir leads you back out into the courtyard, and then around the keep to the northwest tower. And there are a few cultists inside, just on hanging out, doing cult things.
Oldest things.
Yeah. and there's a hatch in the floor that Mir opens and gestures for you to come down. And that there's like a ladder that leads down, and you find yourself in the cistern of the castle, where it's quite cold down here. I mean, it's cold everywhere, I know. We're in Icewind Dale, but it's colder down here. And you see before you a small rowboat that looks pretty, it looks safe. It's in good condition. And Mir points at it and says, it can only carry two at a time, but if you take it just to the right, that's where she lives.
Two at a time, do you mean? Two of the half-giants?
Maybe not both of them together.
Yes, that might be a bad idea. Well, how far is it?
It is that passage just there. And she'll point to this little hallway she can see.
Mir shakes her head. No, to the right. And she'll kind of point near this area up here.
Oh, I see. Forgive me, I thought you did not know your lefts and rights.
She kind of shrinks a little bit. In here, sorry, just pulling up all my stuff here. Haskell, as you peek in there, or whoever else, you see an empty room except for 4 sheet-wrapped bodies lying on the floor.
Perhaps they are harvesting heads here, too.
Oh, no. Those are dead knights from when they took over the castle.
What is your name?
Mir.
Mir, that's right. Don't let Quill here scare you. She's actually a big, soft, naive person. Just try to settle down. Speak slowly. And I would like to persuasion.
Okay.
I did not mean troll with advantage. Either way, it's bad. That's a 7.
She it's not that your words were ineffective. It seems to you that she is very scared of Quill. And she nods and agrees, but is continually side-eyeing Quill and glancing nervously at her.
If only you had seen her 2 days ago.
And you do see a little bruise starting to form on her cheek.
Oh, I'm gonna
Quill hit her
drift
earlier.
closer to her, and I'll brush the bruise with like the back of my knuckles. Tell me, does it hurt?
She kind of looks at Stew Drinker. It looks like she's trying to say something, but she's just like petrified.
Shh. It is all right. And I'm gonna like twirl my fingers in the air, and I'm gonna like do a little like control water, and I'm gonna bring a little bit of like swirl of water from the ice water and have it just like brush against her cheek. There. It feels much better now, doesn't it? With one hand, I give. But displease me. And she shows her other hand, and then the water just drops to the ground.
She
I will
flinches.
take. Mind yourself. Mind your
You're
manners.
so full of it, Quill.
Mind yourself, Haskell. I am tiring of
I
your
have no fear of
berating.
you, Quill. You can berate me all you want. I saw you 2 days ago. Spitting in avalanches.
Mir will tug on your cloak, Haskell. I found this outside in the courtyard, and the little voice told me to give it to you.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It's a little frosted, almost looks like a thermos, but it's made of ice. And if you pop it open, there's a steaming, delicious smelling broth inside.
Yeah, I just down it. I don't even hesitate. I take that.
Okay.
I open it, I drink it.
All right. Well, you have damage reduction against cold damage 5 for the next minute as this little
Nice.
shot of stew courses through your system.
Been no good food here. Thank you very much.
And Quill, you'll have another blessing.
Oh
Which
ho ho!
I'll roll up. Well, like them villains, right? Apparently. Number 6. Wow. We are all stones and stars today. You also have the charm of the star.
Okay, sounds awesome.
Okay.
My DC was too higher before. Darn it. That's okay. I remember now.
Oh, if it makes you feel any better, I was affirmated at the time and he would have beaten a 15. So
I figure as much.
don't fret. It was not a waste. Okay, Mir steps aside and like points to the rowboat that is chained up here. You can send the boat back. And she'll kind of like, there's a chain, so it looks like you would be able to pull the boat back this way.
How about I go with Stew Drinker and Quill goes with Moon Eye?
That is fine by me.
Favorable.
That's good.
Who would like to go first?
Maybe the leader, and Mir will like nod her head toward Quill.
You think Quill is the leader? Oh, you poor naive girl. Even more naive than Quill. Did you hear this funny joke, Quill?
It
I
seems
agree
like
that
sense
Quill
to
should
me.
go first.
I do as well.
I'll climb into the boat.
I will also climb into the boat, and she's just like glaring down Haskell. Don't mind him, Mer. You were quite wise with your assessment.
I'm picturing this speech coming as Moon Eye starts rowing and Quill's just standing in the boat watching them. She slowly drifts away.
I'll do my magic thing to make the boat go quickly.
Yeah, it's a super small cistern
Perfect.
anyway, so it doesn't take long. It's quite easy to row. Moon Eye, you notice as you're rowing, down in the water, you see some corpses, about a dozen down at the bottom of this cistern, all in like chain shirts. And you can see that that's what's weighing them down, as their chain armor. All appear to, some of them have like spears and stuff through them. You see humans and dwarves, both.
I'm beginning to think these people are cultists.
As they row away, Mir pulls on your sleeve, Stew Drinker, and she says, oh, I've almost forgot that there was one for you too.
Oh.
They said you'd like this. And she hands you a thermos as well. And you pop it open and it smells just like home, your very favorite stew. And you know mechanically that if you drink this, it'll last for a minute and it'll give you damage reduction 5 to cold damage.
Haskell's feeling nice and warm right now.
Yeah, but it'll you don't know what kind of thermos this is, but it seems to somehow the ice thermos is keeping it warm.
Okay.
Stew Drinker. Something is wrong with Quill. Just so you know. I know you've only known her for a day. She's not typically like this. This isn't just like some sort of mood swing either. Something is unnaturally wrong. She went from timid little hermit of the woods, kind to every creature, including those that are terrifying, to all of a sudden she's bullying poor servant girls. All this talk of Lavistus and devils. I think something is telling her secrets in her ear.
Right. I think we should keep an eye on her. She did seem a little bit like herself when we were talking about, was it East Haven? That big town? So at the very least, we know she's not too far gone. Maybe if we just keep chugging along, we might be able to bring back the Quill that we know and love.
I think she is in there somewhere. Though if you do see her growing scales and fangs, don't be afraid to put your sword through her if it need be.
Scales and fins?
Fangs. I don't think she's any sort of fish devil, but you never know.
I haven't seen anyone grow scales and fangs here.
I would sure hope not. You're very observant, aren't you?
Mir.
Yeah?
Are you hungry?
She looks nervous, like she doesn't know what to say.
She's far away now, so don't worry. We won't tell her. But if you want to share...
There's food scraps in the kitchen. I'm not supposed to take from the knights.
Oh, you're not taking from me. I won't be able to finish this.
She'll like look nervously and see that Moon Eye and Quill have stepped off the boat, and she'll say, "You won't tell her."
And,
you won't tell Kadrath?
Nope. And Stew Drinker will move so that, like, he's kind of blocking the line of sight from Quill to Mir.
Okay, she'll hold her. She'll very carefully reach for it and cautiously take a sip. and she like holds it for a minute longer, and you see like even despite her nervousness and stuff, she smiles a little bit and hands it back and says, "That's really good. Thank you."
Yeah, of course.
And she'll turn to the chain and start pulling the boat back over here.
Handle that for her, Stew Drinker. Come on.
Stew Drinker will be like, "Hey, let me do it."
You've
And
been
try
through
to
enough
grab for the
abuse.
chain.
Okay.
In fact, why don't you go take a break? We can get ourselves over there from here.
Tell Avarice I did my job.
Yes, of course.
She'll scramble back up the ladder. And like she'll pause right before she kind of gets out of sight of you guys and just turn around and smile and say, "Thanks." And then pop back up the hatch. And Stew Drinker, this is easy peasy for you to get the boat back. And you guys can step in and
Before they step in, or while they're coming, I'm going to touch Quill's shoulder. Who is this woman we go to speak to?
An excellent question. She's gonna reach in her bag, and she's gonna pull out a letter that she found on a body. Do you have that letter available, Tori? I was just checking the handouts, but I didn't see it in there.
Oh, yeah, I should have put it in the handouts. I don't know why I didn't. But yes, I can find it for you.
And she'll quickly fill you in on we heard of this person who was lost, and so we went to go find them. They were at the top of a mountain, and when we found their body, they were frozen as ice, harder than what you might find in a blizzard, as if something supernatural had touched this body. And in its pocket, it talked about Avarice and this place. And she'll pull it up and show it to you. They spoke as if they knew each other. So I had hoped that we would find a link there and answer some questions.
So I'm realizing now why I didn't make it a handout. I didn't write it down word for word, but I can re-summarize what it was.
Perfect, that'll do.
Yeah, it basically looked like some sort of contract between Avarice and Asterix, with Asterix agreeing to go to the place where you found her and retrieve the artifact. And in return, if Asterix was successful and returned with the artifact, that Avarice would lobby for her acceptance into the Arcane Brotherhood.
But these people have not been referring to themselves as the Arcane Brotherhood. Did we find that artifact?
Asterix had nothing.
Okay.
And you also remember that the dwarf's body up there was a journal that Asterix died reading.
Mm-hmm.
That also spoke of the dwarf was up there also looking for an artifact of some kind.
And they had not found it.
Correct. Yes.
Perfect.
As you guys, I'll narrate this to you since you get there first, but in this room where you are standing now, Quill and Mooneye, you see that frost covers the floor here. There are narrow tunnels branching off on either side, and most notably in the middle, there is an 8-foot-tall pillar of ice with a horned, pale-skinned humanoid figure trapped inside of it. The pillar is wrapped in black chains, and the wall behind it is covered with a brown fungus.
Wait, where is this?
Right in the middle of the room you were standing. So right about where you are. It's not on the map, but
That's fine.
I can drop a little something there.
No, you're fine.
No, it's fine.
She'll just like look at it.
Horned being as in Quill kind of horned being?
Those types of horns, yes.
Interesting. I wonder who's done this. Can I touch it? Does it feel like it's a body that is frozen the way Asterisk's body was?
Well, go ahead and make a religion check, both of you.
I would super love to. Good thing we got a
Not-
cleric with us.
Well, surprisingly, not my specialty area as a cleric.
Actually, both of you can do so with advantage.
Yay! And
because
we're
of
affirmated
reasons.
because big
And
love
you're
from chat.
affirmated.
Thank goodness for advantage.
Religion. What am I getting here? Oh, nat 20.
That makes sense. Both of you recognize this as, first of all, you recognize that the being inside is not a real person. You can see that it's a statue, and you recognize this as what must be basically an altar to Lavistus. Moon Eye, well, both of you know this. Quill, maybe you didn't know it before, but you know it now. Lavistus is an archdevil who is trapped in one of the Nine Hells in a prison of ice, basically. So this is an effigy of sorts to Lavistus.
Ooh. Okay.
A frozen devil in a pillar of ice wrapped in chains.
Perfect.
But as you near it, Quill, you can feel this, like, you feel the heat just suddenly, like, sap out of you. And you need to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, buddy. With not advantage, correct? Just
Not
normal.
advantage.
Okay. Constitution. I got a 9 for a total of 11 from chat. That's not very good.
No, it's not. It's not so good.
That's okay.
Ooh, that's a lot of dice.
You take 20 cold damage.
Okay, I drop.
Oh,
Wait,
So
unless I still have 9 temporary hit points from the Moon Sanctuary.
No.
Oh, yeah, no, she goes down.
You do have hero points, though, if you would
Okay.
like to use them.
That's fine. I'll use a hero point and like stagger, and she'll like her hands.
Do you
want to
use a hero point to re-roll your saving throw?
No, I want to go to 1 hit point. I'll use
Okay.
it to like recover. I guess I'll spend all of them to recover to 1 hit point. If I
Okay.
can like cinematically like stagger forward and put my hands like on the altar, like so it almost looks like it's a bow as all of my heat rushes out of me.
Mm.
ooh.
Just like
Yeah.
cinematically.
Yes. You are brought to your almost knees. And right around this time, we'll say Haskell and Stew Drinker make your way over. If any, I guess whoever's rowing, probably Stew Drinker, I'm assuming. What are you doing
Haskell's
while
doing
he's...
none of that.
Okay. I guess, would either of you look down into the water?
No.
Okay, then Stew Drinker, you're rowing, so you would probably notice the bodies in at the bottom as well, that I described earlier. Okay, and you come around and inside, and you see this effigy as well, and Quill kind of half bowing before it.
She looks like she's shivering a little.
You can make a nature check if you want, Quill. Moon Eye, you could too.
A
Okay.
nature check.
Yeah.
I got a 20 with chat. A dirty 20, as some people
Dirty
like
20.
to say.
I do like to say that.
I got a 9.
Okay. Quill, now that you're closer, you can see very clearly that there is a large patch of brown fungus behind this statue, and you realize it is brown mold, which is a heat-seeking mold, basically, that saps the heat anywhere it can get it. So
Okay.
that this area feels unnaturally, well, not unnaturally, but like especially cold. And you think you just drew too close to this mold.
Be
on the back
wary,
wall.
Moon Eye. There is a moss here that will steal the heat from your bones And she'll hold out a hand so he can feel like just that she is bone cold.
Mm-hmm.
I know of this heat. I mean, of this moss.
Just-
I will, when we touch, I will use one of my cure light wounds.
Okay.
That's 2nd level.
My goodness. Just so many subs getting gifted.
I know, right?
Yeah,
That
thanks,
is
Big
guys.
love.
crazy awesome.
Thanks for the raid. This is fun. Oh, Party White Games. That's my buddy in Nibiru.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. I don't know if he's still in chat, but thanks for joining us. Oh yay, you are still there. Okay, so you heal up Quill a little bit.
10
Perfect.
points.
And
Thank
you
you, my
see over, where's my ping? Right here, over this way, there is, oh, never mind. That room is boring. There's nothing except an iron lever. And over here, there is it looks to have been made into a makeshift quarters. There's a small bed and a desk where you see an albino tiefling sitting at the desk writing in white leather. Oh, writing in a book with white leather covers. She's dressed in white, and an ink black crow perches on one of her horns, seeming to read along with her over her shoulders. And you also see 2 gargoyles standing on either side of her desk. And she does not get up as you enter.
Before I step into
yeah.
her quarters, I will knock on the wall. Just pardon me. May we enter?
It took you long enough. Is Mira as incompetent as she seems?
Do drinker, if you wouldn't mind, would just like try to run ahead and say, "No, she did a great job. She was fantastic. Outstanding service."
5-star review.
She takes too long to speak and get her point across.
Let me show you the portrait of Miss
Ooh,
Avarice.
please do.
She's very cool looking. I think, anyway.
Ooh.
That is pretty cool. Are there places to sit down in here?
No.
Okay. Aska's gonna go shuffling past Quill and just kind of lean against the corner. No mold in this corner, right?
There's no mold in this room, just in the
Okay.
last area.
It was in the last one.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose you got here one way or another.
What kind of timing were you expecting?
Why don't we skip the silly questions and just talk about important things?
Yes, I think that is wise.
She'll finally set her quill down and turn around. She won't get up, but she'll set quill down. And she'll just kind of turn around in her chair and with her legs crossed. I have a few questions for you. You seem competent enough, certainly more competent than the average knight running around this godforsaken castle.
I would agree.
So, I'm hoping you might be more useful than them as well.
I can
Let's
assure
hope
you we
I'm
are.
not disappointed.
I never disappoint.
I'm easily disappointed, I'm afraid, so let's not get our hopes up.
But I'm
Did
easy
As-
to impress one.
Did Astrus disappoint you when she failed to return with your item?
Oh, Asterix, do you know her?
I do not know her. I was the one who discovered her body, however.
Oh, she's dead. How annoying. I didn't expect much from her, to be honest, but she was so desperate to be considered for the Arcane Brotherhood, which, by the way. Her talents were nowhere near the level that they would actually need to be. I figured, though, if she got lucky and happened to bring me the artifact, then, well, it would have been well worth my time. I'm assuming you didn't find her with the artifact I'm looking for.
She was as artifactless as she was heartbeatless.
Well, that is quite unfortunate. For me, of course. I'm sure she wouldn't have been able to expect much of a better ending than that. Anyway, as I said, a few questions for you. First of all, have you run into any other wizards around 10 towns? Any other casters? I'm talking above your average.
We have
Trickster.
put down Ravison, the plague that she was.
Is that one of the druids?
Yes.
I'm not concerned with their kind. I'm talking real arcane wizards here. Let me be more specific. Have you run into an older woman with an eye patch? And a snowy owl familiar?
Oh,
We saw the owl, correct?
we perhaps have eaten this owl.
Eaten the owl? Well, I don't think that's possible. Familiars just sort of, poof back to their plane when they're killed. If you ate it, it wasn't a familiar.
Haskell,
But-
you must have been mistaken, for you are the one that told me that it was a familiar, yes?
I don't think this one knows as much as she thinks, but go on.
Are you questioning me?
Of course I am.
I'm the one asking questions right now. I
Yes,
suggest
and
you
trying
keep
to give
yours to
answers
yourself.
At the same time, I asked no question. I simply said that I think you do not know what you're speaking of.
And I think it would be in your best interest to keep your mouth shut, unless you have useful information.
I have plenty of useful information. And who are you to speak to me in such a way?
Perhaps, Quill cuts in, we should all mind our manners, lest we anger the gods.
Minding manners, the tone in which this one speaks. I heard
Manners
her
goes
crow
both
upon her
ways,
shoulder.
Haskell.
I have plenty of manners.
I would be happy to see them.
He's just gonna glare.
Speaking of
person.
manners, we have
She
not
gives you an icy smile back.
we
I'll
have
grin
not
at her
introduced
back.
ourselves. This is my companion that I have rescued from the snow.
Yes,
Haskell.
Haskell, a bard.
Yes.
Wonderful. Moon Eye, Stew Drinker, and
Oh.
Tranquility, or Quill,
Moon-
as you more often go by.
Munaya is not there.
Oh,
Oh, where's Moon Eye?
Going back to take a better look at those bodies and try and understand
In the
where they're
cistern?
from. Yep.
Okay. So Moon Eye's out on the boat. Never mind. So she did not name Moon Eye.
Just call me a bard.
I understand you have some magical gifts of your own, Quill.
I assume I do not need to answer that, as you have all of the answers that you need.
Unfortunately, that's not the case. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to depend on people like Asterix, who
Perhaps
are
people
unfortunately
who-
incompetent.
Perhaps people who are about to ask favors should mind their tongue and their tone.
I believe I invited you down here. Am I correct?
Yes. Now get on with it. You're wasting our time. Just speak. Stop with the pleasantries, if you have any.
Are you going to be useful to me or not? Why don't you just answer that right now?
We
I
do
think
not
you
know
already
the
know the
answer to this
answer.
question, for we do not know what you wish.
Have you seen any wizards? You have not seen the old woman, it seems. Have you seen a man with a large beard? He goes by the name of Dazan. I believe the last time I heard he was asking people to track down little forest spirits, chwingas or something.
We have met this man.
And did he instruct you to do as much?
He did.
Indeed.
Do you plan to follow through?
We had not yet
Absolutely
decided.
not.
The godlings, as Haskell likes to call them, have given us many gifts, and I do not see why we should return their kindness with capture.
Well, the chwingas do not interest me. I need to know what Dazan is doing. Where did he tell you to meet him? Told you to meet him in East Haven.
Perfect. East Haven, which happens to be a direction that we are going.
Well, I would like to know what he knows. If you can glean information from him and deliver it to me, it would be well worth your while. I'm not interested in chwingas, and I don't believe he is either. It's some pathetic ruse. We are both after more powerful magic here in Icewind Dale than any sort of eternal winter spell or whatever this nonsense is. Have you heard anything about a city buried in ice?
Indeed we have, but I do not know why we are answering your questions.
Because I am asking them.
Well, if that is all, then I don't see why we need to be here. Haskell, do you see a reason to be here answering rude questions?
I think we will go to East Haven. And I think if this one wants assistance, she can get to the point.
I assure you, you do not want to make an enemy of me.
I am not suggesting such a thing.
She fishes out of her, she turns for a moment and fishes out of her desk a large leather pouch that looks full of coins, much larger than the scant amount you've collected so far.
Now here are the manners. About time.
I will pay you up front. Inside is 50 gold pieces. I expect you will deliver me information about Dazan, anything he knows, or anything you hear about this city buried in ice. If you happen to stumble upon any powerful magical artifacts, particularly a codicil of white, is what I'm looking for. If you learn anything about any of this, I expect this, she'll heft the bag, I expect this to be payment for said information.
Haskell's gonna grab the bag. Yes, done. We will do this thing.
I will send one of my servants to check up on you periodically. She'll nod to her gargoyles standing behind her.
Those are neat statues. Did you carve them yourself?
They move and glare at you.
Gee, that is a neat trick.
Quill, I have been told you have potential. I hope you do not disappoint me. It would be a terrible shame to both me and the master.
Well, as you know, I am nothing but willing to serve. And she says it so sarcastically.
She will, sorry, she'll grab her staff, I don't know if you guys remember the portrait, but she had a pretty ornate looking staff, and she'll kind of look at it and then just kind of tap the ice kind of at the top, and it glows a little bit, and you see wisps of cold energy, and she just looks at you icily and says, I do indeed hope that's true. For your sake.
I have said what I have said. I am not going against any of that. Thank you for your coin. Is there anything else that you can ask of us before we say goodbye to your wonderful home?
As I said before, I am someone you want to make friends with.
You have an odd way of going about friendship.
She's worked it out for me. He's going to be counting the coins in the bag.
I'm after something much more important than any of you could possibly wrap your minds around at this moment.
Don't be so certain.
If you prove to be useful, perhaps we can strike up a longer-term partnership, which would be most beneficial for you, I assure you. Unlike that silly, punchy tiefling upstairs.
Ugh, he is unbearable.
I have real power behind the words I say. And you, as she says this, Quill, you do in fact hear, like, more like sense, like, kind of a rumble in the back of your mind that feels like Lavistus. But you don't get that, like, annoying feeling when you're with Kadroth. This, you feel like this is true.
Her eyes, like, just dilate ever so slightly, and she, like, drifts a step forward. One of these days, if our friendship grows to be something more sincere, I would be curious about how you came about such power.
Words are simple to manipulate. Children do it. How about you show us a trick to demonstrate this power and stop speaking from a silver tongue?
You wish to witness my power.
Indeed I do. I'm not saying that as a threat. Don't you dare come at me with hostility. But give me an example, why don't you?
I am not some parlor magician to be ordered about like some performing monkey.
Of course not.
I see. Put
But
your actions where your mouth is, or else don't expect them to be taken seriously by me. That is me being upfront. I appreciate the coin. May the many devils bless your heart and whatnot. We'll be on our way. Haskell's gonna leave.
Let me see. Go ahead, Haskell, and make a charisma saving throw.
Hey, I'm okay at those ones.
And I'm gonna go ahead and dump all of my villain points since I can to up the
That's
DC of this.
23.
Oh, that's
Wow,
really good.
That is very good. Okay, let's see. What is her DC?
Oh yeah, 25
Yeah,
were affirmated.
25.
Wow.
25.
Okay. Well, you do save despite the crazy high DC that I bumped it to. But you do feel yourself like how to describe this? You feel yourself suddenly like the world around you starts to like almost melt and shift, and you feel like you're being pulled somewhere else, Haskell. But then you are able to resist and you stay put, and well, you can tell a spell was cast on you,
And it felt strong.
well, go ahead and make an Arcana check. See if you could recognize what this was.
I didn't see anything, right?
No, you all would have seen and heard this spell being cast.
Ooh, can I do an Arcana check?
11.
Cool. 18.
Haskell, it felt like some sort of like it was, the spell was trying to take you somewhere else. Quill, you can tell that she was casting banishment, which sends the creature to another plane of existence for 1 minute.
I do not.
But it felt strong then.
Banishment is a 4th level spell.
Okay. He'll turn around and he'll grin at her with his eyes kind of flashing purple. That is more like it.
Quill, you know, just for the sake of meta knowledge, banishment is a harmless spell. It takes him to a harmless demi-plane. She was not trying to kill him. She was just trying to get rid of him and demonstrate her power.
I look forward to doing business with you. But do not trifle with us at the same time. We deserve equal respect.
I give respect to those who prove themselves worthy of it. I expect that you will do exactly that.
Yes, I will do this thing, Avarice.
I'm going to step up to her, give her a fanciful bow. And her, like, poofy thing around her neck is feathers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to fluff it as I rise, wink at her, and I'll turn and walk with, like, I'm sashaying out, my tail's, like, flicking, like, with just a little bit of irritation.
All right. You guys head out of the castle, and I'll kind of sum up to get toward the end of our stream tonight, but later as you guys are settling in, actually I can just take you to your fancy new rooms.
Ooh.
One thing of note, are we taking the boats back in the same order?
Oh, and what's up with the bodies in the water?
Oh yeah, Moon Eye. Back.
Yeah,
let's cover that really quick. Thank you for the reminder.
And investigate them a little bit better.
So, Moon Eye, they go ahead and make a perception check.
23.
So they are wearing armor and things that are indicative of like guards. They don't look like they don't look like the other knights you've seen in here.
Mm-hmm.
You suspect that perhaps this is the other side of the castle invasion.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where they decided to dump the bodies. However, as you are rowing back and forth, when you come over here, you hear.
I was going to ask what that is.
Yeah, you hear some like muffled as in like through a wall, like through a barrier, muffled shouting. And where did my thing go?
Well, that's where the speaker's gone.
And sorry, I exited out of the wrong tab, and I don't know why I did that. Silly me.
Control Shift T.
Okay, I brought it up. So, you hear some muffled shouts. Right now there is a door, I guess, of sorts. It's like a marble stone slab. Okay. You can see that it slides, like it's distinct from the rest of the wall. But it looks pretty solid. I guess since you were looking around earlier, you do remember that there was a lever in this room.
Oh yeah. I will go back. Are they still clearly deep in conversation? Or are they coming
Yeah, we'll
out
say
of the
this is partway through the conversation. Maybe this is as Haskell is getting banished, but not banished.
Can't banish Haskell.
I'll wait till they come out.
Okay. They do so a few moments later.
Where were you, Moonai?
I was looking at the bodies in the water.
There are
bodies. I think they are the defenders who lost the battle. There is a panel of some kind at the end of the cistern that I think this lever can open, and I hear someone yelling behind it.
Those are just the incessant servants. They will not shut up. Avarice shouts from her chamber. They're being held there as prisoner. The knights are holding them, I should say. They don't know what to do with them. They took over the castle and the servants refused to help. But they don't want to let them go running about the town spreading rumors of a cult taking over. You might imagine that's bad for the public image. I don't care what you do with them.
We open the slab and can I see them?
So you guys pull the lever?
Yeah, I'll
Haskell's
go.
just watching.
I'll-
He's so curious of Moon Eye's morals.
I'll go pull the lever while Stew Drinker can keep an eye on the situation.
Okay, so Stew Drinker's out on the water.
Yes.
Okay,
Am I with Stew Drinker?
you can be.
I don't want to be. I want to go.
Okay.
No offense.
I don't
Haskell
want
wants
to
to go
be.
in the boat last, and if he wants it to not be
That's
with
fine.
Will,
Stew Drinker
if he
can
can
be
make
in the
that
boat
happen.
by himself right now if he
I
wants.
want to watch what's going on with Stew Drinker.
Does Stew Drinker
actually.
have light? It's a little dark down here.
Oh, I do not.
I will
Oh,
tell you
I
what
will. I will share my eyes of the night with him.
see. Ooh, that's cool.
So he has a 300-foot dark vision for 1 hour.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
I only share it with him.
Aw. There you go.
Just
you
you
can see
wait
now.
for now.
So it's still dim, but you see the cistern continues. You hear now, like, as the wall slides, the shouts stop. Not like cut off violently, but like they've heard the stone move and they're now waiting.
What is your plan, Stew Drinker? How will you rescue these people? Waltz them through an entire keep of cultists?
They're my servants now.
Oh. And you think that the keeper of this castle will allow you to take them on as your own?
They will with my help.
Haskell's in the boat with us?
Oh, right. No, never mind. You guys are in the boat.
He
Never
just
mind.
pops up between you guys.
I'm curious. You are a hero, Stew Drinker. Haskell has proclaimed as much, but I am curious how far you think these things through.
I don't know how, but I can't imagine that being in there, they'll be able to survive for very long.
Well, continue. I did not mean to cut you off.
I'm sorry, Tranquility. I figured that with what we've done for them so far, maybe I could have them stay in my quarters. We brought the goats, and maybe there can be some leniency.
Well, let us look your new friends in the face and see what we can do. And I'll lift my hands and I'll do the control water spell and I'll just start propelling us through this wall and deeper in to see who we're dealing with.
Okay. You see another small like chamber off the side here. And a group of haggard looking people in this small room that just smells terrible. Not death terrible, but like filth terrible. And they like all well, 3 of them are along here. And are you guys moving in or just hanging on the water?
I'll catch the back of Stew Drinker's coat. Cautious. Sometimes the ones that are cornered are the most dangerous.
All right. Thank you. And I'd like to move off the boat, and once I'm off the boat, I'd like to call out, "Greetings, My name is Stew Drinker. I'm here to save you.
Hold.
Okay. You hear some whispers, like, do you think he's telling the truth? I don't know. What should we do? Maybe we should. Okay. And then finally, one voice rises above the rest. Do you say you're here to save us?
Yes.
Well, okay then. We won't ambush you. And you see two back away from the door. They aren't wielding anything, but like they just were looking like they were ready to like fisticuffs.
Thank you.
And the one speaking to you is an old, thin woman, and she seems to have an air of, I mean, among these scrappy people, and some sort of air of authority. Does that mean the cultists are gone, then?
No. Unfortunately. But I want to make sure you're okay. Where you are now, have they been feeding you? Have you had a chance to do anything here?
Well, she nods toward one corner that's just like covered in filth and waste. We have been making it work. They only feed us once every few days, and it's freezing down here.
So you are fine.
I wouldn't say that. A smaller, burly man speaks up.
But you will survive until we can find a safe way for you to get out.
I don't know. I suppose if they continue feeding us, I don't know how much of an existence this is. We would like to mount a prison break. That's actually what we were preparing to do when we heard the slab slide open. She looks you up and down, Stew Drinker. I'm quite glad we did not carry through with that plan.
And you were what, going to swim through the icy water?
We were going to ambush you and take the boat and figure out the rest when we got out of here.
Stew Drinker, this is how you make a plan. You should take notes.
We could not stand these conditions any longer. You have to understand. We are in threadbare clothing down here, hardly given a scrap to eat. We have to live where we defecate. This is no way to treat anyone.
What do you want to do, Stu?
I want to take him with me.
Right now.
If they're only fed every few days, how can anyone survive in conditions like that?
That's like Stew Drinker's worst nightmare.
No,
Only fed
Stu!
once every 2 days.
Perhaps I can suggest a more safe plan.
All right.
I'll pull my pack off my back. And I've got like my bedroll and stuff. And I've got all of my rations and my water skin and stuff. Why do we not let them have a comfortable night? Give them what we have. And I don't have this stuff. I gave it to Mir. Never mind.
It's true.
I do not have my things, but we could bring them food and perhaps a hot drink and some blankets. And we can plan with perhaps your brother's assistance how to get them out without angering the ones around us.
All right.
But we are on thin ice, Stew Drinker. We cannot act rashly.
Okay. I'm sorry. Well, but thank you.
You have done nothing to apologize for.
Quill, you hear a whisper in your mind. Perhaps you could do as you wish if a certain someone were out of the way. If
I
someone
thought that
else
he
were
was-
calling the shots.
I thought that this one was your chosen one, my lord. I say back in my mind, bringing up the image in my head of the paunchy gas bag upstairs.
He speaks with a forked tongue, and not the kind I like. He has served his purpose. You show promise, as does my servant, Avarice. With you two working together, things would move more efficiently, perhaps. And you hear the presence leave you.
Oh, and she has like this feeling of like ambition and like the thirst for power like coiling in her chest at the thought of sitting in that man's chair. And she's gonna, Stew Drinker, I actually have an idea. But it is one that we should think on. And perhaps we should rest, so that we are at our full strength. You would bring these ones food and water and blankets, of course, tonight.
Yes.
And how does this sound to you all? Amenable?
Well, it's certainly more than we've had
It is
for the
certainly
last while.
better than trying to take on this one. And I gesture up and down to the Goliath that is Stew Drinker.
Yes, that is certainly clear.
I have not heard you thank him yet.
I'm sorry. Have you done something for us yet?
Yes, he is risking everything for you.
Well, we certainly appreciate any help. Thank you.
Her eyes glint for a second at that somewhat insincere thanks, and she looks around to everyone else.
We weren't quite certain if you were going to help us or not, you see.
Well, now you know.
And we very much appreciate it. And she'll look around to the others, and they all nod quickly.
There you go, Stu. Do you feel better now? And I pat his arm. Or as high up on his arm as I can reach.
Stew Drinker will nod and look back at them and say, I promise you, whatever happens, I'll get you out of here.
I believe you. You look quite capable. Thank you, really.
Come, Stew Drinker. We must report to your brother and to Haskell.
All right.
All right, so you guys clamber back onto the boat and head over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you discussing this with them?
We'll talk about that there's people to save, but Quill will not elaborate on her plan quite yet.
Okay. Avarice will shout, "If you're going to leave, would you please at least shut the lever? They are so loud, it is impossible to get any studying done with their racket. Or at least tell them to shut up."
Haskell will run over and hit the lever.
And the stone slab slides back into place.
Quiet, you! He'll shout at him as he shuts the lever.
That's all it takes for Haskell, apparently. Just gotta pay him some money and he'll be on your side. All right, so you guys go back upstairs and you can talk about whatever information you want to exchange, and we will leave you as you make your new home in your new guard tower.
One notable thing on the way out, are Moon Eye and Quill going in the boat first again?
I mean, Stew Drinker and myself were already in the boat, so we probably just talked to you guys and then went back and then sent the boat back for you all.
Okay, on the way back, I would like to slip Quill's amulet out of my pocket and drop it in the water.
Oh, that's rude. Okay, that's cool.
Can I see if I can notice him do that?
Sure. Go ahead, and Haskell can make a sleight of hand, and Stew Drinker can make a perception.
Uh-oh. He got a good perception. I did not get a good sleight of hand.
You notice this, Moon Eye.
Everyone notices this.
Does he say anything?
Nope. He gives a glance to you. But when we get to the other side, as we're heading upstairs, I will say to Quill, may I speak with you briefly, Quill?
Of course, my time is your time, Moon Eye.
So you're going to send the others upstairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quill, I know you are a servant of another. Who that other is your own choice. We serve who we must. I understand why you must do what you do. And I will not stop you in your choices. It's your journey to understand the twilight inside you. But if you hurt my brother in this process, I will strike you down. Do not harm him. Do you understand me?
I absolutely understand. It is not my interest to hurt your brother. I find him kind.
He is. And I don't think it is against your interest, but I do not trust the one you serve.
I do not know why you would assume that, but as you said,
Windbag is not always wrong.
though he is always loud.
Yes, he is.
And on that, we will end for the night. With
Aw,
that.
I thought he was going to tattle, but he didn't.
Yes. Cool. Okay. So I guess, well, really quick wrap up details. Kadrath will notify you via Thub, a message, that he would appreciate you. Well, no, he doesn't say that. He's not polite about it. He says that it is the orders of the master for you to go to East Haven and investigate this further threat. So that that is clear that he wants you to do that next. Whether or not you decide to carry that out is up to you, I suppose. We will find out next week. Thank you all. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, chat, for tuning in. Thanks for all the raids. That was super awesome. Lots of fun new people in the chat today. So thanks so much for the support. If you would like to further support our channel, you can, of course, follow and subscribe here on Twitch. We also post all our old VODs up on our YouTube channel, which we just hit 100 subscribers a couple days ago. Yay!
Yeah.
So
Woo.
you'll be able to find us much more easily now. But go ahead and subscribe there if you want to catch our old videos and catch up so you can tune in live for one of these shows. You can also follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. You can also purchase dice and accessories from one of our affiliate partners. Those links are down below, as well as our Patreon. So we always appreciate that kind of support, and you can also get some fancy math rocks out of it, which are always fun. And let's see, if you're already doing one or all of those things, thank you a million times. We really, really appreciate it. Now, go take a long rest. Pay your respects to tiefling wizards named Avarice, and we'll catch you next
Probably
time.
not.
Bye.